He's been awarded 2 Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medals and 2 letters of commendation for his operational leadership. He is currently the Director of Major Gifts at the University of Louisville School of Medicine. Ladies and gentlemen, our speaker for today is former Marine Lucas Dwell.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for allowing me to be here today. It's very humbling to be in a room full of patriots, men and women that have kept Lady Liberty's flame bright in some very dark times. Today's a little serendipitous for me as a Marine. Today is the 234th Marine Corps birthday. And if we have any Marines in the room, happy birthday. So it's good. There we go. We got a few in here. This is my 10th Marine Corps birthday out of uniform, and you know the thing I'm sad about is I can no longer fit my uniform. So the cooking's been incredible, and it's just great to have fellowship with you all today. Over the weekend, I flew down to Florida for a family member's wedding, and as I was sitting in the airport and I was reading my paper, I started watching all the men and women in uniform coming to and from, and it really brought back the reality that we're fighting on 2 war fronts in Afghanistan and Iraq. And you pick up the paper and you give them a couple months, and all you hear is about the healthcare debate. You hear about the economy, which are all very, very important things. However, just under the surface, we talk about our veterans. And I truly think that tomorrow, on November 11th, that it should be a day that's not just necessarily just for veterans, but it should be all throughout the year. We should be thanking our veterans every day. It shouldn't be about department store ads or getting a sweater at Macy's. It's about men and women who have sacrificed, and some who have paid the ultimate sacrifice so that we can come and join here today. I grew up in a very rural town, Nelson County, out in Bloomfield. I don't know if y'all have ever heard that, but we have the world's only tobacco festival, if they still allow us to do it. And you know, growing out in rural America, you're out there, not a whole lot going on, and you become very, very close to your family. And I was very close to my father. I'm a 5th generation veteran, and he was a POW in Vietnam with the 101st Airborne. And he instilled in me that we're all American citizens. We're born American, but every day we must work to earn our citizenship. He taught me that the United States is the last best hope for humanity to ever live in peace. That we as Americans represent the ideal that no human should have supreme authority on another human. That we have been indeed given absolute rights by our Creator. During the introduction, it said that I graduated high school on Friday night and I left Monday morning. And you know, you're sitting there and you don't know what to expect. The Marines do a lot of things right. Well, all the services do, but the Marine Corps, I think they've kind of got this really down pat. They bring you in to Paris Island late at night. It's like 10, 11 o'clock at night and run a bus. It's pitch dark. And you know, you're sitting there thinking, you know, I'm going to get there, you know, have to do a little bit of paperwork, I'll go to sleep and I'll be up, and it'll kind of be an orientation. Well, as soon as that bus stops, 2 drill instructors come on, and just with a whirlwind of just terror and destruction. And you're pushed off the bus on the yellow footprints, the famous yellow footprints. And for the next 3 months, nothing was mine. I didn't have a first name, and I was lower than filth. But it taught me a lot, and I didn't do very well in boot camp. But I was able to graduate, and I went to infantry school in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, where I started to understand kind of the rules and regulations of the Marine Corps. And after infantry school, I went and became a recon Marine. And operated with that for a little while. Then I had the opportunity to go overseas with 3rd Battalion, 6th Marines, part of the 24th Marine Expeditionary Unit. And I was aboard the USS Guam. As they introduced, I served in Bosnia and the Persian Gulf, and I actually turned 21 the day I hit the Persian Gulf. And as I went on the fantail of this ship, it was a very old ship, and I was made to take Marines from Vietnam, or from Okinawa, Japan to Vietnam for 30 days tops, and I'd spent 9 months on it at this point. And I love cigars. I was smoking a cigar on the back of the fan deck, and kind of thinking about my peers that were back home that were, you know, out for their first drink at the bar, or, you know, having a good time. And then I got a little sad about that, thinking about what I was missing out on. And then it came kind of crashing down on me, thinking about the men that turned 21 the day we stormed Normandy. The men that froze in Korea the day they turned 21. And people like my father, men that were humping a pack up in Vietnam, steamy jungles, when he turned 21. So I came home, I'd been overseas for 9 months, and I hadn't been back to Kentucky for a year. As I sit in the Atlanta airport, I was bought myself a sandwich, and somebody came up to me, and I went for my wallet, and they said, no, we'll take care of it. And I remember, I thought it was very strange nobody ever bought me a meal before. And I walked through the airport, and I remember people in their eyes, they were just kind of giving me a nod. And I knew then I'd earned my citizenship, that I earned the right to be called a Marine, and that I fulfilled what my father had taught me all those years ago. You see, my journey is not about necessarily the 4 years I spent in the Marine Corps. It's about the 10 years after the fact of what I've become. People said I would never make it out of boot camp, and I came out a decorated sergeant. People said that I would never make it in college, because what the Marine Corps did for me, I used the GI Bill in 2003, earned my bachelor's. In 2005, I have a master's degree. People said I would never settle down, it was too crazy. And 9 years ago, I met a woman by the name of Lisa, who I convinced to marry me. And 19 months ago, we had twin girls named Morgan and Addison. My story is not much different than anybody else in this room, because coupled with my Marine Corps training that was instilled in me during that time of honor, courage, and commitment, I've been able to build upon that and to be what I consider to be a citizen, at least I hope to be. I think it's one of those things when you say you're humble, you're really not. You know, you always strive to be that. As we know, the military holds us to a much higher standard than civilians, both ethically and morally. Respect for others is essential, and all sailors, soldiers, airmen, and Marines are expected to act responsibly and with integrity for the title in which they've earned. We all know the military does crazy things. It pushes us both mentally and physically in boundaries we never thought we would surpass. But it also provides us a foundation to achieve things in life that we never thought we could imagine. Today is about veterans like you, who have had the heavy burden and who have shared experiences with one another, who, whether it be the VFW or the Marine Corps League, you all have created the path for a gentleman like me to come through. I'm 32, but I think about, and I see a lot of World War II hats around here in Korea and Vietnam. You gentlemen and ladies paved the path for individuals like me to come and serve my country. You know, there's a saying that says that, for if you take liberty for, you never take liberty for granted because you never know what it's like until it's been taken away from you. And I agree with that. We live in the greatest land. We do it because of individuals such as yourself out there that have sacrificed and have told. And you carry a heavy burden for some of the things that you've done for our country. And I pray that God will grant you peace and take that heavy burden away from you. I know it was close to when my father passed that he found that peace. Lastly, every time that I see a Marine or a member in the uniform, I remember back to something that President Ronald Reagan said many years ago, and I'm going to paraphrase. He said, America represents something very universal in the human spirit. You can go to Japan and live, but you'll never become Japanese. You can go to France and live, but you'll never become a Frenchman. You can visit and live in Greece and Turkey, but you'll never become a Greek or a Turk. But anyone can come to America and live and become an American. That, ladies and gentlemen, I think is the greatest ideal of our country. It's because of everyone in this room that we are able to do that and offer that opportunity freely. Thank you for your time today. I'm extremely humbled, and it's my honor to have spoken to you. May God bless you all and Semper Fidelis.
I know that Lucas wore his uniform proudly, but I didn't want him to get away without giving him something that said Lindsey Wilson College. I expect him to wear his proud.